Welcome to Be a Light with Mushan. I'm your host, Mushan Pieski. This podcast is dedicated to spread kindness, positivity, knowledge, and also to share the power of authenticity and human connection through the stories of the inspiring individuals who have touched me personally and who illuminated my journey. And I hope their stories can lighten your path too. And each episode is a great reminder that no matter where we are in life, we can be a light to others. Today, I have a special guest whom I met last year, end of last year, and I reached out to her to be my mentor as I was a relatively new project manager. I needed some guidance and help. And she was so kind, so passionate to be my mentor. Ever since we have been mentor mentee and we were meeting every month. And so now let's welcome my dear mentor, Felicia Rockefeller, to the stage. Yeah. Hey, Felicia, welcome.
Hi, thank you very much for having me here. Your words are very kind. Thank you.
It's been such an honor to be your mentee and to see how mentorship actually can do to help guide others and to uplift others. Definitely, I'm so touched. And also, in the recent months, I learned so much you have done for others, for the community, and for our audience uh, benefit. Would you mind to share a little bit about your background?
Of course, of course, of course. I have been in project management and IT for more years than I want to admit. It's several decades. And over the past few years in particular, I would say the last 10 to 12 years, I've really come to understand that one of my passions is exactly what you're talking about. It's being a light for people. It's helping people to bring as much help as I can to their lives, as much assistance as I can. So my background in IT has helped me to help women in particular that are struggling in a male-dominated field. I love dogs. So one of the things that I spend a lot of time doing with dogs is I have certified therapy dogs. So we do hospital work, we do other volunteer work. And then even within my own family, I've got three wonderful children, three wonderful grandchildren, and I just love spending as much time with them as I can.
Thank you so much for sharing your background. As you touched a little bit about mentoring others and
Mhm.
making an impact means so much to you.
It
So,
does.
since it aligns to the mission of my podcast, Be a Light. So, what does actually being a light mean to you personally and professionally as you had so much experience in life and also in the workplace?
I, as a child, I was raised with the golden rule, and the do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And I was raised to believe that my purpose for being on earth is to do good things. It is not to improve myself by tearing other people down. And more importantly, what I learned, and I have so much evidence of, is that when I'm doing things to help other people, it brings me great joy and fulfillment. It makes me happy to see other people succeed. And sometimes in the strangest way, I get it back. It's paid back to me in different ways. And a really good example of that is and I think we can probably talk about this a little bit more if you'd like. My current
Yeah,
position.
yeah.
I had somebody that I met many years ago. This individual was a new, just starting his career. He was actually an intern at a company where I was working. And I kind of tried to take him under my wing. I introduced him to some people that I knew that were in his field and just, tried to help him launch his career, gave him a little bit of advice. And fast forward probably 15 years, And I was in the job market, and it turned out that he was now a director at a company that I was interested in. I reached out and asked if he could help me with a referral, and he said I would love to. It's a chance for me to give back some of what you gave to me all that time ago. And here I am now, absolutely happy as could be in a position that has been beyond my wildest dreams.
Yeah, wow, that's such a beautiful, like, circle around, a kind of
Exactly, exactly.
beautiful story, uh, because we don't know where we will end. Uh,
No,
yeah, we just
I
need to be
never thought.
kind. Yeah, we need to be kind to each other, and we don't know. Just the connection should be genuine. We support each other. One day we may need support too. I love this mutual support and also the positive ripple effect that I always like drawn to. Yeah,
I think an important part of it is that when I am trying to help people, I'm doing it for the pleasure that I get from helping them. I'm not doing it because I expect something in return. And I think that might be one of the things that makes me, you talked about authenticity. I
yeah,
genuinely just want to help people. And if something like this, something fantastic happens for me, that's great. But it's about helping the people, not what I am doing with the expectation they're going to do something for me.
yeah.
And that to me is being the light. It's just bringing good, positive, helpful, supportive actions to people that I meet or people that I know in my family.
Yeah, I definitely can attest to that because I have seen how supportive you are to me. And also today, I know you had a busy work day and that you was here, rushed, had a dinner and being here is already a great way to show your support to me and also the willingness to share your light with the people later on will listen to this podcast. So thank you so much for being a light to this world, to make this world so much better, so much brighter. Thank you.
Of
And
course.
yeah, we met regularly, like monthly, we chat about things, and I heard so much about your experiences too, and that you traveled around the world, and you were so accomplished, and so how do you stay grounded? And just like you earlier, you talked about it, was that also because you just value the human connection and
I do.
finding this fulfillment from supporting others?
I do. I do. And I think, I'm no martyr, obviously. I have my faults just like everybody else, but I think that I'm grounded because I did not come, a lot of times people see my last name and they assume that I came from some wealthy family. I didn't. I didn't. And in fact, my father never even finished high school. He lied about his age and he joined the war, World War II. And he came out, he built his own business from the ground up. And honestly, when I was a child, I emulated things I saw him doing. He was the type of person that would give you the shirt off his back and wouldn't even think twice about it. And I tried to emulate what I saw in him, but I didn't appreciate at the time what he had to do in order to raise the family. My mom did not work for most of the time that myself and my siblings were children. In fact, she didn't even get her driver's license. I remember her getting her driver's license. So she was fully dependent on him. Now, I have to be clear, my mom was as good with a hammer and a chainsaw as she was with knitting needles and a piano, but
Wow.
but she relied on him for everything. He was the breadwinner of the family. And as I grew older, and unfortunately, he passed away quite young, but as I grew older, I gained an understanding of how hard he worked, how he didn't ask people to do things for him. And I felt that was such an incredible role model. That's what I wanted to emulate as I got older. And um, I think that there is a certain amount of maturity that comes with the years that I've been around. My goals today for myself personally and professionally are very different than what they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. Um, Now I'm not interested in amassing wealth. I'm not interested I've never been the type of person that wants to have the prettiest car or the biggest house. That's just never been who I was. And I think that grounding came from my father and the way I grew up. Um, but at the same time, what my values are has changed so dramatically. And I didn't have the luxury that I do today to do things like the mentoring, to do things like the amount of volunteering I do. I just didn't have that luxury of time. I was a single mom raising three children, and it just wasn't part of what I was doing. But today, my children are grown. I'm comfortable enough with what I have done financially for myself, so I'm independent financially. So now I have the luxury that I can give this time back and hopefully help somebody else to achieve the same happiness that I have, the same Zen that I have. So I think to get back to your question, what keeps me grounded is where I came from and knowing that at any moment, anything can change for anybody. I don't want to be a person that potentially kicks somebody when they're down or hurts somebody. I want to be the person that people can come to when they need something.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps me grounded, I think.
Yeah, wow. Thank you for sharing your upbringing experience and where you get the influence
Mhm,
from. Uh,
mhm.
Definitely, you have a beautiful family and a
Thank
great
you.
dad and the mom as a role models. That's
Yeah,
amazing. And so, thank you so much for carrying their values and their work ethic to
mhm.
enlightening other people's paths. Yeah,
Yeah, yes.
yeah. So yeah, you talked about community work, not only mentoring, mentoring me, who was total stranger. Yeah, actually, I wanted to come back to that. Is when you accepted my invitation to be my mentor, actually you were laid off. Would you mind to share a little bit about that journey I
Yes.
know you are from that high position to being laid off as a surprise, and also how you navigate this challenge in your years, like you thought you were at the peak of your career.
I did. I did. In fact, my story with being laid off, I again was very fortunate because sometime before I was laid off, one of the women in the company where I worked was laid off. And she was somebody that I had so much respect for. She was just a phenomenal employee, a wonderful person, um, just excellent at what she did. And she was laid off. And when that hit me so hard, so the very first thing about my journey was realizing that when you're laid off, it is not a reflection of you personally. And when somebody that I respected so much, that was just such a phenomenal person, is released from a company, that tells me that when it happened to me, or told me when it happened to me, it wasn't about my performance either. And that I think was the message during the time that I wasn't working, that kind of, I always had to remind myself, this isn't about me. This isn't, this is a challenge that I'm going to face. This is a challenge that I'm going to learn from. I'm kind of fatalistic about things. So I believe very strongly that things happen for a reason. And I didn't know what the lesson was going to be then, but now looking back, I understand the lesson that I was being taught when I went through being laid off. So when I was laid off, I wasn't really surprised because there was things going on in the organization that, I could kind of read the handwriting on the wall. I was pretty sure that this was happening. Um, And before anybody gets the idea that I think I've got this great ability to see the future, we were moved into another organization. And after 8 weeks, we'd never even met with the new manager. There was no including us in staff meetings. And by us, it was a whole team. It was 65 people. There was no communication from the other manager. So it was kind of obvious that, this was a step that was going to be a step going to layoff. So when the layoff did happen, I was mentally already somewhat prepared. I was expecting it. But what I wasn't prepared for was I was, to your point, doing well in my career. I was a senior director for a very, very large company. I had um, a lot of influence in the organization, in my IT organization, and I was doing really big, huge types of initiatives. So when I was laid off, my first thought was, okay, this isn't about me. And my second thought was, I am going to go straight to a VP position. I'm going to leave here. I am just, no matter what everybody says about the market, it's going to be different for me. My ego took quite a bruising because months went by and I would have an occasional HR screen, maybe an interview with a hiring manager, but never any offers, never went beyond 2 interviews. And so I changed my way of searching for a job. And I won't go through all the details, but I changed my way of searching for a job and I went and I kind of did a personal inventory and said, well, what is it that really matters to me? And what really mattered to me was working with people. It wasn't about being in IT. It wasn't about having the title. It wasn't any of those things that initially I thought it was. And so I started kind of falling back to where I'd started in IT, which was project management. And at the end of this journey, I ended up going from a higher title to a lower title. But in my new role, I'm managing a team of 12 people, 11 people. I'm the 12th. And and I am so happy because what I realized is all that other stuff that I was doing to, the daily grind and trying to climb the ladder and stuff, I really didn't want to climb that ladder any further. What I really wanted was a sideways move to
Mm,
stay in the general area of what I was doing, but allow my focus to be what really brings me joy, which is working
yeah,
with the people and helping the people with their careers and their challenges and sharing in their successes. So my journey through being laid off, it was very hard at times. Am I ever going to find a job? How am I going to pay my bills? What's wrong with me? Is my resume bad? Do I not know how to interview? Am I too old? I was challenged with all those questions.
yeah,
But in the end, after I did this personal inventory and I thought about what I really wanted and I changed what I was looking for, that's when I went from almost nothing to getting 3 offers in 1 week.
wow,
Yeah.
wow,
So I learned a lot during that exercise. Number one, my ego was too big. Number two, that when people are saying the market is so bad, it really is. It's very, very hard to find a job. It's very, very hard. And number three, taking time to consider what really matters is what is going to, in my case, is what led me to success.
yeah, wow. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and being so authentic to share about your ego period, about your like being realistic, practical, and also to reevaluate your
Yeah. Yes.
wants and needs and actual desire. And once you dig dug deeper and you found your true calling. And I'm so happy for the
Thank you.
final result. You really you have shared that with me, and I can see the joy on your face, and I'm so happy for you. And also during that time, I know you were navigating with job searching and that. I what touched me the most, you know what, is that after I knew that you just you met with me with such grace and also so supportive. I even had a speech about mentorship, about how great mentor you were, as that during that challenging time, you still cultivated a space for a total stranger like me and nobody. I was nobody, to be honest. Yeah, I don't have a high title, and we have no connection at that time. But you were so kind. Would you mind to share a little bit of your uh, thoughts around that time and accepting to support me? I was a total stranger and I wouldn't probably help you with anything.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. You know that you would. And I know that you would. It it isn't I, there's an expression, and I'm probably going to say it a little bit wrong, but a stranger is just the friend you haven't met. And
Ah,
so for me, I never know with people that reach out or people that I talk to, I never know where things are going to go. Sometimes they'll go nowhere. Sometimes they'll end up like with you, that we'll have an ongoing relationship and we can be there for each other. But fundamentally, having a mentor or being a mentor is such an important part of just our human condition because as from the mentor perspective, when somebody reaches out to me, it is the most flattering, humbling, um, just incredible feeling that something about me caught somebody's attention and they singled me out and did me the honor of asking me to be part of their lives in some small or larger way. And because that's how I see mentorship, I am in no way, shape, or form wasting my time by investing in a relationship. It is something that, worst case, maybe I don't click with the person. I can't offer what they need, or I'm not the right person for them. Best case, we end up with a situation like this where I meet somebody that has so many accomplishments, that's doing so many things, and I'm able to be, to kind of be part of that, which is just a wonderful experience. For me, what I was going through, again, I was very fortunate. I was very lucky when I was laid off. I already talked about, like everybody else, it's how am I going to pay my bills?
mhm.
But I have, because I've never been the person that has to have the flashiest car, the biggest house, I was not in a financial situation where I was at huge risk. I had risk, but I was able to go into the job search knowing that it was an opportunity for me to remake myself. It was an opportunity for me to decide, even though I had some of the same concerns that other people did.
Mhm.
I was fortunate about where I was. I also have a great support system for myself. So I didn't, and I've never been a pessimistic person or somebody that gets bogged down by things going on in my life a lot. I've had some bad experiences, some very, very bad experiences in my life. And I think the expression, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, is very true. Um,
Wow. You know what?
so,
I that sentence I used, I had my first speech at
yeah,
my contest.
mhm.
I used that. That's
I
why
believe
we're so connected.
I believe it. I believe it. I can see that that would be one of the things that you believe in.
Yes, yes, yeah. I see you are so resilient. You are so kind. Your positivity definitely uplift yourself and also radiate the people around you. That's what I felt during those days that you were searching for jobs, but you were just stayed so authentic. You were so true to share your concerns your struggles with me and but not in like a negative term. It's just something we deal with. So that you set such good example for me to follow, And so at the times, if I feel a little bit discouraged or something, I would reevaluate and I learned the concept from you as whether you are feeling stuck or you're content at a
Hmm.
situation,
Hmm.
reevaluate your situation. If you have a choice, it's you're still not stuck. Then
Right.
immediately you feel you are in control of things. Yeah.
That was actually a concept that, and I mean, you know this, that I kind of stole from someone at a Women in Technology conference that I had attended. And the speaker was emphasizing that sometimes when you are in a job, you've been in the job for a long time, maybe your career isn't advancing the way you think that it should. Sometimes it isn't that you're really stuck. It's that you're at a point where you're content and you don't have enough, um, there isn't enough of a reason for you to make a change. Sometimes, like me, you'll get laid off, and guess what? You're forced to make a change. And sometimes it's more of a conscious decision where you evaluate where you're going. Maybe you take some training, and you decide that you want to start your own business, or you want to go in a different direction with your career, or you get married, or maybe your partner gets a job in another state. There's so many different things that can be the reason that you make a change, but sometimes you don't make a change because where you are, even though it's not your perfect place, it's good enough for you right now in your life. And that's okay. You
Yeah.
don't, nothing should make you feel like less of a person because you're not choosing to make changes. It's
Yeah.
just this works for me right now.
Yeah. I just love your mindset of being able to appreciate things, to see things in a different perspective, to just being content it's,
Yes.
or being okay with
Mhm.
the situation
Mhm.
you're in now. So I think that will help others, our audience, to sometimes can get out of that kind of a hole. Maybe you have to climb a ladder, have to get a promotion to feel you're valued, to feel like,
Exactly.
yeah. So the
Exactly.
value sometimes we build, we see it in ourselves. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that you said that because I think that part of my growth over the last, whatever, 10, 15, 20 years has been recognizing that where I have value is doing things by helping people. That is what I feel I can do that provides value. Yes, I work because I need a paycheck,
Hmm.
but if I can earn my paycheck while I'm also giving value to other people, it's such a wonderful confluence of events. It's just so much balance. And it's really amazing.
Yeah.
And I want to say, you know, you've said several times about me being kind and all those things. I want
Hmm.
you to know that one of the reasons that I enjoy doing things with you, helping you with your career, letting you hear my complaints about things going on in my life is because you have that quality. You are a person that really does bring a light. You keep a positive outlook. You're interested in people. You admire people. You are introspective and self-reflecting without being critical of yourself. And those are all qualities that just make it so joyful to be around you and to have our monthly meetings and to chat and to catch up. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Felicia. That also, oh, that those words are just so beautiful and so encouraging. And you know what? Yesterday I met another mentor at our work because I told her today I'm going to meet with you too. And she commented that she said, you have a kind of a charisma, kind of a
Yes.
attracting the just the people with compassion around you. I'm just so grateful. Truly, truly, I'm so grateful to have met you and definitely compassion and kindness just inspire me the most. That's why
Good.
the people who or on my podcast, most of like everyone has that set of quality and kindness, and then also have the unique stories. So thank you so much, Felicia. Uh, I I'm just so touched by the kind words you used to describe me.
Well, I don't want to get into mutual admiration society, but I do think that your personality, you draw these type of people to you by the way that you are. So I think that what you are experiencing when you find people that make you feel that way, and I think it's because you strive so hard to see the good in people. And because you do that, because you focus on the good in people, I think that that draws people to you like a magnet. So you're getting a benefit from what you do, just like when I mentor people, it is not a one way where I'm, spouting off all this advice and have all the right answer. It is very much a two-way thing. I get as much from being a mentor as I do from my mentees rather. So it's very much a two-way thing. And I think it's very similar to the people that are attracted to be in part of your circle. It's
Yeah,
because they're reflecting what you show to others.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's definitely have this mutual feelings. That's the human connection. That's what I value. I really value a lot. And also, you are my mentor, but in the other situations, I'm the mentor to others too. I definitely, what you shared resonates with me so much. It's not I know everything. It's the way I show up. No matter what I show up, I do my best to support them. And the other day, mentee also expressed his gratitude in front of a big crowd, and it really how to
It's
say
very touching.
it's very touching. It's just a very satisfying moment.
It is. It's very
Yeah.
satisfying.
Yeah, gratifying, gratifying. It's
Very
just,
gratifying. That's a good word
yeah,
too.
yeah. Um, Other than mentor, I know human connection. I know you do a lot of volunteer work with your dog.
I
I
do.
know you would love to talk about your dog too. Would you
Yes,
like to
yes.
share a little bit about that? Because community is something we all care about, and I think being in a great community is just such a fortune for us.
Part of being a PMP certified through the Project Management Institute, part of what we need to do every year is we have to recertify and well, every 3 years. And during the course of that time, we have to demonstrate evidence of things that we're doing. Some of it is education for ourselves. Some of it is could be like speaking. Like when we met, I was speaking about project management from the perspective of being a female PM. Um, and part of it is giving back to the community. And it isn't because of PMI that I started doing this, but it is absolutely one of the areas that the volunteer work that I do, there's like, again, there's so many benefits from doing something that I love. So what I do with my dogs, I've been doing this for about 15 or 16 years now. I actually just kind of on a whim, I had a dog that I had adopted, and my son at the time was a pitcher for Buffalo Grove High School. And so I would bring the new dog and we would watch my son pitch at his baseball games. And another parent said, your dog has got such a great personality. Have you ever thought of having him become a therapy dog? And so I ended up exploring it. We went ahead, we got our certification, and the over the years, I've provided animal assisted therapy for literally thousands of people. I've more than 1,000 years, sorry, 1,000 years, 1,000 hours
Mhm.
logged with the hospital program where I do the work. And when we talk about things being fulfilling, when people are in the hospital, they're either there for the best of times or the worst of times.
Yeah.
So people can be there because they have somebody that's ill, or that had surgery. It can be people that are in hospice, all the way to the other end of the spectrum where they just had a baby. And, being able to touch people, and really it's not me doing anything. I'm attached to the thing that's doing something. It's at the other end of the leash. It's not my end of the leash. But to be able to have that contact with people, to see their faces light up, sometimes they just want to hug the dog and cry into the dog's fur because they've got some difficult thing that they're going through. But to see all these human moments and to be able to be blessed, to be allowed to be part of that for a moment is something that is incredibly, incredibly, again, I have to use the word humbling. Um, it's for the staff, even at the hospital, who they are struggling with. Many people know. I mean, a typical nurse will start their shift and they may not even have time to go to the bathroom until the end of their shift because they're there doing nothing but helping other people. And they might have a few minutes. They will skip having their break to spend 5 minutes with the dogs
Mm.
because that gives them a stress relief and that helps them cope with what they're dealing with. So there's the fun part of it because I've got a great big floofy dog now, and everybody likes the great big floofy dog. And then there's also the more serious part of it, and it's just such a wonderful thing to be able to do. Um, and it's one of the ways that I give back to the community, and it touches so many things. It's part of what I do for my job with PMI. It's part of what I do personally. When my daughter was in the hospital having her baby, I was able to bring the dog in, so I was able to go in when nobody else could. So, I mean, just silly little things like that.
Yeah.
It's just been an amazing journey. I've met people. I met one individual that was approaching end of life and was completely alone, had no family, didn't barely spoke English, and just sitting with this person for 10 or 15 minutes. Um, I I cannot tell you what an honor it is to be allowed to have that type of interaction. And then again, on the flip side, when we go up and we're on the labor and delivery floor and all the nurses mob the dogs and everybody's laughing and joking and it's just such a wonderful thing, all because of the dog.
Wow. Wow. It's all because of you.
All because
Because
of the
you're
dog.
winning.
She's much cuter than I am.
Wow, that's just so beautiful story, and also help people to understand why we are so close to our pets, our dogs.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yeah, we are there for each other. Yeah, definitely. Wow, it's beautiful. And also, when you were sharing the moment about the dying individual, actually reminded me of my former boss who was kind of unknown. When I called him, he was in hospice, and I was thinking, what if there's another Felicia with a dog going to the hospital and just comfort him? Just
I'll tell you some of the good things we do. Some of the
yeah.
good things we do at the hospital actually relates to cancer survivors. We will go,
Oh,
we've had Schaumburg Flyers when the baseball team was the Schaumburg Flyers. We had dogs
yeah,
that were invited to go there.
yeah.
My dog Lady has been a therapy dog. There's a musicology organization that had their annual event this past summer in Chicago. I think it was I forgot which hotel, but it was one of the ritzier hotels. So she
Hmm.
was there doing her thing, and all these
Yeah.
people in beautiful black, like they're doing their performance, and they're in there laying on the floor with the dog, getting dog hair all over, just laughing and having such a wonderful time. Um, she's
Oh,
she's kind of a ham, and she's learned that if she rolls over on her back and puts all four paws on the air,
yeah.
she's get petted like nobody's business. So
Oh,
it's funny to see how she reacts to all of it and how people react to her. It's just such a
mm.
wonderful. But
Yes,
we do
so
so many
so
different sorts
joyful.
of things.
Yes, so joyful. Definitely every time it's bringing joy to the people who touched uh lady.
Yes.
Also beautiful named lady.
Yes. She
Interesting.
got that
Also,
name because she's so gentle when she wants to shake hands. She will put her paw out so gently and
yeah,
just wait for you to take it.
yeah. Oh. Okay, so I have a little bit other question is because I
Yes,
know you have experienced a lot of challenges and
yes.
also setbacks and also even disappointments, maybe even including, relationship, marriage, and other things. Would you mind to share a little bit how you deal with setbacks and challenges in life?
So I'm deciding if I want to tell you the biggest challenge I've had in life, but I think I'll stick to the career one because I don't want to make you get upset again.
No, it's okay.
The biggest challenge I think that I faced in my career was also um, the biggest mistake I made in my career, and it was also the best mistake I made in my career. And what I mean by that was um, I was working as a consultant and I don't even remember how the connection was made, but I ended up doing a small amount of consulting work for a company at for a healthcare company. And the person that I was doing the work for was so complimentary about the work that I was doing and offered me a full-time position on the spot.
Oh,
And of course, I mentioned my ego. My ego's like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's this big, huge promotion and all this other stuff. And everything was fine until about my second day of work. And my second day of work, I wasn't at my desk at 7:30 in the morning. Now, mind you, I'm a senior director at a multi-billion dollar company.
mm,
And my VP wanted to know why I wasn't at my desk at 7:30 in the morning. She had her admin start hunting me down to find out where I was. Now, as it happens, I was getting my badge. I had to have the picture taken for my badge.
yeah,
But that kind of set a tone and made me realize I'd made a really bad mistake. And in this position, I wasn't able to sleep. My hair was falling out. I lost
mm,
weight. It was the most awful decision I've ever made in my life when I took that role. And I only took it because I went ding, 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 money and, the title and all that stuff. And I made the decision for the wrong reason. I never stopped to think about whether or not it was a job that I really wanted. And I never really thought about interviewing the person that I was going to be working for to make sure that this person's leadership style aligned with my goals and my values.
yeah,
So a few months later, I completed enough of the assignment that I was brought in to do. We ended up agreeing that I was leaving the company, and everything from there worked out from that point forward. But the lesson that I had to learn there, and I told you earlier, I believe that everything happens for a reason. There was clearly a lesson that I needed to learn there about making decisions about where I was going to work
mm,
and not being um, dazzled by dollars or title or anything like that, and make sure that it was what I was going to do was something that I wanted. But going through that period was absolutely horrible. And I gained so much compassion for people that are working for people that don't believe in lifting others.
yeah,
Um, it really gave me a whole new perspective that I had never really thought about before. It was a very enlightening experience for me, even though it was very difficult. So in the throes of it, it was horrible. And I didn't see a way out at first. I was like under so much stress. I was just absolutely being crushed by this position. And of course, I was also working, 7 o'clock in the morning until 10, 11 o'clock at night. Um,
wow,
it was absolutely crushing. But what I learned coming out of there is that that was probably just about as bad as things could ever be for me.
Yeah.
And I got through it. And not only did I get through it, I came through it with at least some of my dignity intact. And I was able to find another position and I was able to move through my career a different pace. It wasn't such a big jump, but a different pace. And eventually got to the point where I am now, where I am just so happy. And I knew looking for this position
Mhm.
to do things like make sure that I'm aligned with the person that I'm going to be working with. Um, and I do think of it that way. It's the person I'm going to be working with more than the person I'm going to be working for, because we are going to have to be working together and partnering on a lot of different things, and there has to be mutual respect and mutual consideration. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I would say that's probably the best example I have of going through something really, really difficult and learning from it.
Yeah.
Even though at the time it didn't feel like there was any good that was going to come out of it, in the end, there really was.
Yeah. What doesn't kill you makes you
You
stronger.
got it, exactly. And
Definitely.
that is the thing that I think about when I say what doesn't kill you. There's that, and there's one other thing, but that one now we're not going to talk about.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Definitely the setbacks sometimes turn to be
They
great
do.
opportunities for growth.
It's
Yeah.
hard sometimes, as I said, when I was in the throes of it, it's very hard to find that silver lining and to look for, what the positive is in it. But sometimes you just have to accept that the positive piece, you don't know what it is right now, and maybe later you'll be able to look back and understand. But for
Yeah.
right now, it's just trying not to get dragged down. And by the way, have a strong support system, have people that you can talk to that can empathize. If they
Hmm.
can't empathize, at least sympathize with what you're going through.
Yeah.
Because that is having, again, that human connection. I gained value from people doing what I try to do now. I had people that did that for me then. So again, the circle.
Yeah. You mentioned about support system. Is that what you meant friends or colleagues or mentors?
So it's both, because a lot of the people that I work with, I also am happy to call my friends as well.
Mhm.
So there was that. There was also in my relationship. I've been with my boyfriend for 25 years now. Um, he was part of this when this was going on, and in fact, he had experienced a difficult leader as well.
Oh.
So he was able to definitely empathize, not just sympathize, because he had lived that same kind of pressure.
Mm.
But yes, family, friends, colleagues.
Yeah.
Um, One of the things, and I think I mentioned this earlier, and you probably know this as well, don't forget that if you're asking somebody for help, most people are so happy to be able to provide some assistance, even if it's just listening to you whine and complain for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great message. Yeah, it's okay to be weak or
Yes,
not weak. Yeah, yeah, it's okay to be helpless in sometimes, but ask
yes,
for help. Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
One of the
because
worst
we
things
all,
that,
yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry.
go ahead. We all have those moments of,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. And I guess this is another lesson that I've learned over the years, which is being strong isn't necessarily the healthiest thing for me. And also, um, most people do want to help. And if I don't say I need help with this, or if somebody offers, if I don't say yes, thank you, please do help me, I'm preventing them from having some of the joy that I feel when I help other people.
yeah,
So, and I think you saw this on one of my posts on LinkedIn. One of the most important things is learning to walk the talk. The advice that I give to you, I need to be able to take that advice myself. Otherwise, I am not being authentic. I'm giving advice as somebody that's saying, do as I say, not as I do.
mm,
So that I think is another important part of a support system. It is good to show that weakness because you're not really weak. You are strong enough to admit that you need help.
yeah, yeah. Actually, today, earlier, a friend reached out to me because has seen my transformation, and she knew my childhood experience, like just hard. So she said, I experienced the same, and now I think it affected me. Could you please talk to me how you get over that? So
Oh,
after this episode, I'm going to call her, talk to her. But I talked a little bit in the message is to accept you don't need to be perfect.
right.
Yeah, to be
It's really
okay.
good.
Yeah, actually to accept your past because yeah, that's just a part of you. Yeah, and that maybe make you more unique. That's the power that others don't have.
Hmm.
That's the story people don't have.
Yep.
So just embrace that as part of you. Yeah. Um, Thank you so much for this lovely conversation. I know we face-to-face chat, but it's different on the screen probably. But I just love our conversation. We can talk more, but due to time, are there any parting words you would like to share with our audience? Other than, yeah, I know you already shared great messages already. Just wanted to.
I think just the words of wisdom that I would have is um, don't be afraid to ask for help and try to be there if somebody asks you.
Mm,
And that that connection, that human connection is something that is going to benefit both of you. Even if it doesn't feel like it at the time, it is going to benefit both of you. And it's just a way that we can make this very frightening, stressful world just a little bit better for somebody for a few moments.
mm. Yeah. Thank you so much for your
Thank
light.
you.
Thank you
I
so
am
much
so
for your
honored that you
kindness.
asked, and I look forward to our next meeting.
Yeah, looking forward to our next meeting. And the audience, if you like this episode, if you have gained the light from Felicia, please share it with your friends. I believe many of the messages she shared can change someone's life. So live in the light and also be a light to others. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
again, Felicia. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.